Hello, and welcome back to another video. Do you like capturing critters and forcing them to fight each other? Of course you do. Don't try to pretend. I know you. Oh, sorry. Well, today I'm playing Portal Fantasy, which is a new cute creature capturing game that just released on Steam this month. And I was lucky enough to be gifted a review copy and give it a little preview beforehand. So, is it any good and should you play it? Well, this is how I got on with the game and my experience playing it, so let's find out. We start the game by waking up in a cave and creating our character. So, I made my little protagonist and then completely forgot to dress them up, so we'll just be running around in our underwear. God, that was the loudest zip sound I've ever heard in my life. I then realise a Porble has stolen my backpack, Porbles being this game's name for the little creatures we catch, just to keep you up to speed. So I have to go searching for it. I had some issues with the controls, which is par for the course with me at this point. We might have some issues here. But eventually it randomly worked and I discovered that my backpack had been completely destroyed and my admission letter for the Porble Academy was missing. We then get a little backstory into our past, finding out that it's my ambition to be a Porble master, even though my parents don't really like that idea that much, and that we used to have a Porble lizard we named Elizabeth, which I see where they're going with that name. Clever. That was sent off to live with a proper Porble master. So now I guess we want to become a Porble master to basically stick it to our parents? Nice. I can get behind this idea of petty career moves. Also, something I find kind of funny is sometimes the text box where the character name should be says random words like backpack. So it looks like my backpack is the one saying this. I don't know, it just amused me. We are supposed to bring the letter of admission with us, so it appears our first quest is finding out what happened to it, as it speaks to me. So I set off through the woods to find my letter, shaking random things and collecting whatever drops out of them. Then in the distance I spy this huge toadstool toad fella and deduce it must be the Porble who stole my stuff. So I chase after it, hoping it's friendly. I don't think I'm very bright, I'll be honest. I come across these bottomless pits that I have to jump over, and so I clear them with ease like I'm a show jumper. Then I discover a discarded cookie, which triggers another flashback about us showing our mother our acceptance letter. Already we are setting the scene that our parents really don't want us to leave home or are terribly accepting of our career path choices. But whatever, mum, I'm gonna go to Valeria and capture Porbles and become the best Porble master that no one ever was. And I'll take those cookies, thank you very much. I finally catch up to the Porble, which I found out is called a toad shroom, and give it the cookie in exchange for my slimy acceptance letter back. And with that, I'm on my way. And by on my way, I mean I accidentally walked straight into a bottomless pit because I'm an idiot and thought they were stairs for some reason. Whoa. God damn it. After only slightly embarrassing myself in front of the toad shroom, a storm picks up and I'm forced to seek shelter in an abandoned house. And it looks like our friend had the same idea. So I hop into the bed and sleep. One thing I notice is that there aren't any loading screens. There's just black silence, so every time it cuts to abrupt black, I think the game has crashed, which we'll soon discover isn't such a silly notion. I am rudely awoken from my weird dream by this bloke who tells me I'm trespassing in a property owned by Valeria, and that those woods I was in last night are actually just an overgrown park on the outskirts of the city. So if I'd just walked about 5 feet more, I'd have arrived where I was supposed to be. But now I'm late to my first day of Porble school and everyone is mad at me, especially Marcus.
Marcus?
I can't find my Doritos.
Whose description I entirely misread. Furry, black, a little man. No, a little mean. Sorry, my head is clearly elsewhere. I give the guard a salute, which I hope was done in a passive-aggressive way, then head out the door towards Valeria. I discovered a patch of grass and tried running through it to see if I could find any Porbles, but I guess since I don't own any Porbles yet, they won't spawn. I'm looking up at this huge castle in the city centre when something else catches my eye. Ah, it's the furry man! This must be Marcus, but instead of going to talk to him, I start exploring the area in front of the city and causing havoc by emptying an entire fountain of its water and stealing all these berries. This is probably not a good first impression for someone who is already late to class, but never mind. Eventually I speak to Marcus and he tells me that I've not been expelled, but my class has left without me for the initiation ceremony. I'm then instructed to go speak to Gigi over at the Porble Academy, but because I am incapable of following instructions, I decide to keep exploring the city. Whoever's stealing our berries, stop it, or we'll be notifying the Whoops. I wander around interacting with Porbles, go into a pub and try to buy an ale, and find recipes scattered about that presumably teach me how to craft things for later. I speak to a couple of NPCs who very clearly do not have time for some inconsiderate, penniless oik like me who can't handle simple instructions. Sorry, I love wasting my time. Wow, what a dick. Everyone's mean! Why would I like any of these people? So eventually I give in and go and talk to Gigi at the academy. At least they're somewhat nice to me. She tells me that since I'm so late, I'm left with the reject Porbles that no one else wanted. Great, so my starters are the rejects. Love that. This doesn't fill me with confidence, but nevertheless, I head out into the back garden to see what Porbles are left. We have this adorable little Groobeat that's stuck on its back, a huge, strong-looking Axolil, and a little Charpup. Obviously, I go for the Groobeat because look at him. He's just a clumsy, silly little guy. I inform Gigi of my choice, and she tells me I need to speak to the guy outside for my first training battle. I then get a little tutorial battle teaching me the basic mechanics on how to fight. And listen, I tried really hard to read what I was being told, I promise. But you know me, I struggle with basic instructions, so I did the classic me thing of clicking where I think I should be clicking, and it seemed to work just fine. It's your standard turn-based combat with basic attack moves, special attacks, and type strength and weaknesses. And since this is only the tutorial, I completely destroy this guy's Porble, and now my little Groobeat has had a taste for violence. Gigi then tells me about the thing I've been most excited about, capturing Porbles. As you'd expect, you must first battle with a wild Porble, reduce its HP enough, then use a scroll to capture it. So off I went, wading through the grass until I encountered my first wild Porble, which just so happened to be another Toad Shroom. I was still kind of unfamiliar with the battling mechanics at this point, so I sort of just mashed attack until eventually I'd reduced its HP enough to attempt capturing him. And look at that, my first captured Porble. Unfortunately, it wouldn't be my last first captured Porble, but we'll get on to that. I figured out how to add my new Porble to the party and then went to heal them up by drinking from this algae-infested water fountain. Sure, it's terribly good for me. Now that I'd also got a taste for battle, I was ready to try my luck at catching another friend. I came across this cute rock guy who actually turned out to be kinda tough and ended up knocking out my Groobeat. But I persevered with my Toad Shroom and felt very accomplished when I was able to whittle down Rocco Guy's HP and capture him. Which is why what's about to happen next is so disheartening. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I was then told when Porbles get knocked out, they require a deep sleep to recuperate. The rarer the Porble, the longer sleep they will need. So all my Groobeat needed was a little nap and he was all healed. It's okay, Groovy, you are a rare gem to me. But it didn't matter because now I had a full team of Porble friends at my fingertips. I felt ready for anything this game was going to throw at me. Porble Master, here I come. Until this happened. Whee! Oh, you want to smell my finger? Ew. What the hell? No, not that, although that was pretty weird. This. Oh no, did it just crash on me? I really hope it auto-saved. Spoiler, it didn't. Well, that's not strictly true, it kinda did. But I have all my Porbles still. So from what I could gather, the game got a little confused. It put me back at the start, but because I still had all my Porbles and I'd completed this part of the game already, it wasn't entirely sure what to do. I couldn't collect any items from the places I'd already picked them up, and at one point the cookie that I was supposed to feed to the Toad Shroom was missing and the game could not progress unless I had it, so the entire screen crashed and I couldn't play anymore. Relaunching didn't fix it, so in the end I had to start an entire new save. Bye bye original Porble friends, you will be missed. But you know, one thing that never crashes is my aesthetic desk setup. Yeah, I'm pretty good at segues. Once again, I was gifted some products from the lovely people at GEEKSHARE, so let's have a look. You're gonna have to excuse my squeaky chair, I haven't bought any WKD. No, that's a drink. I don't know, my brain's not working. But anyway, you're getting a very long angle today because this box is incredibly long. Also, I did a big silly and left it outside in the rain. And it got a little damp, but we're gonna hope that everything inside is dry. I put it on the radiator for a couple of hours, so we'll see. Found my box cutter again. Okay, let's go. It's definitely got a little bit of outside grime in it, but that's okay. That's a me problem. Oh, I see something cute inside. Okay. Ooh, hello. I think this is packaging. No, this is something. What is this? Oh my goodness, what is this? It's like a little red bow. I don't know what's going to be in here. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh, wow. Oh, it's got things on it. Sorry, that was a lot of noises. Oh my goodness. Oh, something fell. Oh, my favorite. It's a tasty snack. Not really, don't eat this. This is adorable. Look, it's a pudding and a cat and it's got cherries on it and it's incredibly cute. It's also like, what's this word? It's not textured. It's cut into wiggles. Wow, I'm a content creator. Cut into wiggles. That's what we're going with. But this is really cute. And the cat itself is adorable. I don't know why I blinded it. And it's a nice size as well, which is lovely. Okay, this I believe is a wrist rest by the looks of things.
things. Ooh, yes it is. And I've opened it upside down. Oh, look, that's so cute. It's like a little bow. Ooh, that's nice and squishy. That's really lovely. These are beautiful. A matching set. Cute. Can't go wrong with a cat. Okay, next box. It's a little bit wet, but it's all right because the actual mouse mat is protected. Oh my goodness. It's like Sailor Moon. That's what it's reminding me of. Oh my god, this one's so much bigger than the other one. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that just so pretty? Ooh, it's so cute. Also, it comes with this. Come on, out you come. Ooh, another wrist rest. Ooh, look at that. It's like a winged sausage for your wrist. Look at the cute little details. I'm just gonna call them hearts. They're stars. This is a heart. Today we learn shapes. But it's beautiful. Like, I think this comes off and it reveals the shiniest surface known to man. But yeah, that goes there. And that is beautiful. I love both of these things. I love the other one as well. Maybe I shall gift the other one to one of my friends who likes cats in red. I have an idea of who.
Thanks again to GeekShare for sending me these products, and if you like the look of them and you want to have a look at some of their products yourself, I will leave a link to their website in the description below. And yeah, back to the video. Okay, Portal Fantasy Round 2. And this time I found out that this little chick I collected could wander around the map with me. Although I didn't realise that it would actually make wild Porbles spawn less frequently, so we live and we learn. I just wanted to have a little friend follow me everywhere. I repicked my Groobeat as my starter, and this time my first encounter was this Melthea, like the one I fought in the tutorial. However, the good thing about having to do the tutorial again was now I was more familiar with the battle mechanic and remembered to use my momentum to do a special attack. See, I'm learning. I'm remembering. Take that, you little bulb bit. And now he's mine. I recaught another toad shroom to replace the one I lost. And once again, I had a full team, and this time I was ready to take on whatever the game had to throw at me. Again. No, I still don't want to smell your finger, dude. I was now able to use my first portal to fast travel to another area, although for a second I did not think those were fingers. I ran into yet another person who hates that I exist. His name is Chuck, and even though he clearly hates his job, he opened the gate for me so I could get through into this little walled maze area that's full of little puzzles and treasure chests. After moving some boxes and escaping from the maze, I came across a new Porble to catch. He's a little creepy looking, but we love him. As I was walking down a path, I noticed an odd person loitering on a nearby island. It's probably some sort of Porble cult. I'm sure we'll find out more about that later. Anyway, I look in a box and find a shovel. I'm sure the two things are not connected, but I do worry. Hopefully I don't have to bury a Porble later. That would not be very cozy. I finally chat with this guy Luke, an old retired Porble master who requested I bring him some berries. Little did Luke know, I was already prepared. I've been stealing berries since my previous incarnation. I know berries. So I hand some over and he directs me to a chest surrounded by spikes. Always something with these NPCs, isn't there? But lucky for me, I read the tutorial, so I know that spikes equals danger, and so I'm able to easily avoid them and get my okay scrolls. Doesn't seem like something I should be risking getting impaled for, but sure. Thanks, Luke. Kill him. Make him die. Yay, great. Now, before I get on to my overall thoughts with Portal Fantasy, I just want to point out that after I stopped playing that first hour or so, I returned a couple of days later to keep playing and my save file was gone again. Now, I don't know if it was because of an update or what happened, but after losing my second save, from this point forward, I was feeling a little annoyed, a little less interested in playing, shall we say. But for the sake of giving this game a fair chance and wanting to really give you my opinions on if the game is worth it or not, I persevered. So now, I'll move on to what I learned from continuing playing the game on another save file. First of all, let's talk about what's good about this game. Obviously, the artwork is beautiful, the character portraits are really well detailed, the environment is super colourful, and all the little animations make the world feel a lot less flat, and I think it's a lovely touch. The dialogue is also very fun. I feel like the characters have a lot of personality, even though that personality is mainly people hating me. But regardless, I think it's quite enjoyable to read. I love that we have a backstory about why we want to be a Porble master, and how that's incorporated into the gameplay with the playable cutscenes. I think that's a really fun way of developing our character without info dumping too much or being too expositional. The Porbles themselves are obviously adorable. I do like the battling system. I think once I got the hang of it, it was fairly straightforward. I'm by no means an expert at it yet, but it's definitely fun. And collecting all the different Porbles was starting to get really addicting after a while. Now, there is a lot of content in the early stages of the game. There are puzzles that you have to navigate. I'm not very good at puzzles, so it took me an embarrassingly long time to get through some of them. I died. But this is coming from someone who thinks Echoes of Wisdom is challenging, so take that as you will. There's also a boss fight fairly early on that I definitely didn't suck at, and it didn't take me at least 3 tries before I eventually defeated it by just throwing bombs at it. Nope, not I. But the important thing is, I did defeat it in the end, eventually. The game also has some really nifty crafting features. For example, there are some things you can do to your Porble to customize them. So you can get dye to change their colors, or you can add additional buffs to them. But in order to change their color, you need to craft dye, and to craft the dye, you'll need items. So you can get these items from extracting them from Porbles, which basically means you'll have to sacrifice one of your Porbles in order to make another one a more pleasing color. This might be a feature for when you've played for more than an hour though, because I sacrificed a lot of my Porbles and I wasn't able to get enough items to make one set of dye, so I think I'll stick to keeping my Porbles the colors they were born with for now. And now for some things I wasn't so fond of. It's horrible. Catch it. Obviously take everything I say with a huge pinch of salt. These are just my opinions and not definite reasons for why you shouldn't give this game a go, but that being said, here is why maybe wait for the game to get a few more updates first. The main reason being the crashes. I have the full version of the game, and although I was playing before release, I was experiencing a lot of bugs. The fact that my saves were disappearing, the random crashes, the controls being a little iffy and not working at times. Sometimes the game would lock up entirely when I was in the middle of a battle.
I can't defend because I'm dead.
This was certainly irritating, and I'll be honest, it did put me off continuing with the game a little bit. Why would I want to keep playing if at any time my save was going to randomly delete itself? However, the gameplay itself is fun, and maybe my issues are just down to having an early access copy. But that being said, if crashing is a concern of yours, maybe wait a little while, watch some gameplay from other people, see if the game gets a big update, and if this game still has your attention, then I'd say give it a go. But other than that, I think if you're a fan of creature collectors with turn-based combat and some extra puzzles, this game is worth checking out for sure. Let me know in the comments if you'd be interested in playing this game. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and if you liked the video, feel free to tickle that like button. If you're new to my channel, and if you made it this far, hey. Hi, hope you're having a fantastic day. But anyway, thank you to the Portal Fantasy devs for gifting me a copy of the game, and thank you for watching. Bye-bye!